Hello, my name is Reamer, and in this video I will explain how I get started on the community maps that I make using Blender. With that said, this could be applied to floor plans or really any type of map. So, if there are any parts of this video that you don't understand, then just ask away in the comments. I do, however, assume that you have at least basic Blender knowledge for this video. Okay, so for the add-ons, I use a lot of add-ons, but for this video, I think I'll mainly use two add-ons. One is called Drop It, and one is called Images as Planes. You can find Drop It in the link in the video description, and Images as Planes comes with a default Blender installation and can be activated under Official via the add-ons preferences in Blender. You'll find it here under add-ons, and then you go up into Official here. You search for Images as Planes and just click that check mark there and save preferences if you want this to always be on when you start Blender. Okay, and what these do is Drop It quickly drops an item down to the seafloor or onto another object in the scene. It's very handy for quickly placing things without having to fiddle around too much with the positioning. And I bound this function to V. So if you see me do that, then that's what I'm doing. And Images as Planes is just what the name says. You can import images as a physical plane into the scene. I usually use that for reference images, but it can be used for a lot of things like making signs, for example, or backdrop images with an alpha layer and so on. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is a human model. You can get copyright-free ones all over the internet. Just search for CC0 human model in any search engine and you should find a lot of them. The one I'm using can be found in the video description. I got it from a YouTube tutorial by Andrew Price. I will link his channel in the description. He's got some of the best Blender tutorials available, so do check him out. Alright, so whenever I start a new project, the first thing I do is I pull in this human model. I'm using the asset browser here, but you could also go into File, Append, click on the blend file, go into Mesh, and select whatever the human model's mesh is called to pull it into your project. If you have an OBJ or an FBX or something like that, then you use import to get the model into Blender. Okay. Whenever you've done this, make sure you check the dimensions and make sure that it's not like 6 meters tall or something like that. Make sure it's a reasonable height. The global average height for a male is 171 centimeters. But if it's a bit taller or shorter than that, then that's fine too. So when you've done this, pull in a cube as well and change it on the x-axis to 0.9 meters. Keep the z-axis on 2 meters. And for the y-axis, it doesn't really matter. Just pull it in a bit. And that way you'll have a door as well to use as a reference. Okay. And now that we've done this, let's pull in the map with images as planes. So you go into the add menu with Shift A, go into image and then image as planes, and then you just point at the whatever file you're going to use to make this map. Right, so in my case, I'm going to use this map here by gbchaosmaster. It's a map over the factory raid in Escape from Tarkov. It's a very clean looking map. Everything looks proportionate, really well made. So this will be perfect for this example. So go into top down view, pressing numpad 7 on your keyboard, and you can tell it's way too small, right? So you don't want to scale these down. You want to scale the map up since these two have the real life scale. Right? So in our case, we go top down view and we find something that we can use here. So in our case, we can use a door. Okay, there's a lot of doors on this map. So let's hold shift and right click to move the 3D cursor onto the center of this door here. And also make sure you change the pivot point up here to 3D cursor. Okay. So now when you resize this, it's going to be resizing it around the cursor because it's now the pivot point. Move this door onto the cursor and then go back to the map, and we're just going to scale it until that door seems to fit. That seems about right. Okay, and that's it for getting started, like getting the proportions right. Right, so when you have done that, you want to move the map into the center of the scene. But before we do that, we want to make sure that the origin is in the center of the image. And if you used images to planes, it should already be in the center, but it's always good to make sure. So go up into Object, Set Origin, and Origin to Geometry. Okay, and then with the map selected, Alt-G to reset position, and that should move it into the very center of the map, or the scene, should I say, as we can see here in top-down view. And when we've done this, it's a good idea to lock the map so we don't accidentally move it or resize it later on. So let's move the map into a new collection by pressing M, and then we type in a name map. And we want to go up here into our filters, activate this selectable option, and then uncheck that for the map collection. That way anything in this collection cannot be selected anymore, and therefore not edited. Okay. And that's it, really. Now we could start tracing out the walls and start building the map.